Hey, welcome to the Sketch Zone podcast. I'm Carlos Gomez, and with us this week we have Ryan Brockmeyer.
Hey, everybody. Glad to be back.
Well, welcome back. Yeah, that's right. You've been around, or you've been on the show a handful of times.
I need to find a brand new sound effect for that.
What does
you need the welcome back Carter or Carter?
There's got to be like an old man in a
Welcome
rocking
back,
chair
welcome
soundtrack, somewhere.
You need to do like the hip
Get
hop.
off my podcast.
Yeah, I still think you need the hip hop version of that one because then we can just go into dance. Who was that? What version was that, Ryan? I know you know.
I don't.
Oh, come on.
Oh, the welcome back, Cotter.
Yeah, the sample. Who used it? Was it Cameron? No. Oh, this
When we figure that out, we can go ahead and go around the horn and be like, "What's up? Welcome back, Charlie B. Williams III."
Hey, what's up, everyone?
Dreams are the ticket out.
Oh, that's beautiful, Carlos. Glad to be back, guys.
Back.
Let's do this.
Jack Kasperzak.
Mace.
Yes.
Wasn't it Mace? It was Mace.
It was Mace. Harlem World.
Of course, Mace.
Shut up, Carlos.
I know what song you're talking about, but I have absolutely no clue.
He like Mace.
Who was it?
He said it. Mace.
Mace. See, it was Mace.
Mace. See.
So, welcome. I almost.
He was all doing this.
You guys remember the original Kings of Comedy when Bernie Mac comes out and he's like, "Welcome, motherfucker, welcome." I wasn't gonna say that, and then I almost said it, and then I wasn't gonna say it.
You weren't gonna say it.
and then I felt like I needed to defend my giggles. But welcome, everyone. How's it going? How's everyone's week?
Good.
So far,
good. Hanging in there. Yeah,
it's almost done.
That's right. Happy Thursday. Yeah. Let's start out the week. Let's start out the show real quick by literally tipping the cap and saying thank you to someone that we lost today, the lead singer of Linkin Park, Chester Bennington.
Don't play too much. YouTube will go after you.
Yeah,
that was actually perfect, Jack.
Yeah.
I think you're right at the point.
it's called a sample.
Yeah, so we sampled.
Right in there, right before and pull it back.
So we lost Chester today. Something that I think creatives have to deal with is on a lot of times on a daily basis. We've talked about it on the show before when we had people like Byron Wilkins on and stuff. Is depression, and depression is a jerk, and you don't know that you have it. You just, I know some people that have it, and they're like, I don't know what it is that makes me feel this way. And I'm like, you're depressed. You just got to shake that shit off and make sure that you're talking to people, because things will get better. And some folks, they just take the drastic way out. And Chester was one of those guys. And it's just tough to see.
Right.
Because you think someone like that, like the lead singer of Linkin Park, he's traveled, he makes music, he does what he loves. He's making tons of money doing what he loves. And you would think that, you know, he had a family and everything, and you would think that someone at that stature would just have life figured out and would not be struggling with stuff. And yet we find out that we do.
Yeah.
I think that shows a lot of times, especially with creatives and especially with especially with, I think with musicians, you get you get people who have some issues or have that kind of stuff before they get to that point. So one, that's what makes some people amazing artists, because they're able to channel some of the issues that they have into their craft and getting to that level. But that just kind of shows that you can't always, supplement how you really feel with success or with money or with that kind of stuff. You're always kind of fighting that. And sometimes that actually, makes things worse too. A lot of that stuff.
Yeah.
But
yeah. Real quick, little shout out. Welcome back, also, Gabriel. Yeah, and I completely agree with Gabriel. He's in the chat room. Chester, but first was Chris Cornell. Said moment for music. Yeah. It's just weird to see, we and normal folks, quote unquote normal folks, we strive to do things like Chester did. We want to get paid for what we love doing, and we struggle every day, and when things don't necessarily go our way, all of that stuff has a tendency to stack up. But let me tell you, one of the biggest things that we can do is continuously find people to talk to and let them know what's going on in your head. That's the best thing. I mean, and then if there's chemical imbalances and stuff, you can go talk to a professional. But for I know for a lot of the creative folks that I know, me included, there's just days that you're just not feeling it.
Yeah.
And those are the days that you have to make sure that you reach out to someone that you trust and be like, yo, I'm struggling today. Let's,
Yeah, I definitely try to watch that stuff, because it's in my blood.
Yeah.
For sure. There's definitely days that I feel it a little bit. So I can definitely relate to this stuff. The thing with Chester and Chris Cornell too, I didn't realize before we started talking today, apparently, how good of friends they were. So Chester actually sang at Chris Cornell's funeral, and then today is Cornell's birthday. So I don't think it was a coincidence that that it kind of worked out like that. But
yeah,
Yikes.
It's tough.
Right.
Back when, and we don't need to dwell on this too much more, but back when I was a mental health technician, this is exactly the kind of person that would be one of my patients. And we just, sit and talk and figure it out. And a lot of times life just gets you going, and you're in this lather. You don't know how to get out of this funk that you're in. And there's a lot of people that just need a timeout. And those were the people that I got to talk to. And it's just really cool to see. I mean, it's I guess a cliche, or people always say, don't worry, tomorrow's going to be better. And sometimes tomorrow's not better, but trust me, eventually that next tomorrow is going to be better. And you just got to hang on. That's I'm good on this topic. I'm sad. Linkin Park was one of my favorites back when they were, topping the charts and stuff. So it's kind of tough to see that happen. We good? Moving on?
Yep.
Moving on.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Gabriel said Vincent van Gogh, amazing artist that was able to channel his problems through art, but in the end gave up too. Nah, I mean, the list goes on.
Yeah.
Depression is not a new thing. But dealing with depression is there. You don't have to struggle alone. All right. So let's perk up the conversation a little bit by talking about Pokemon Fest in Chicago.
Wait, what?
Say what?
Is that a real thing?
Are you serious?
That's a real thing.
Like
What
the
did you-
Pokemon
what-
Go stuff?
Yeah.
Pokemon Fast?
Fest.
Pokemon,
Oh,
No one's
Fest.
fasting, though.
Fest.
I mean, Jack. No one's fasting.
They need to. They
Yeah.
need to lay off that stuff.
Lay off the Pokemon for 7 days, 7 nights.
But no,
Oh.
Pokemon Fest
Pokemon,
is happening
yeah.
in Chicago, and it's happening in Grant Park. And there's, I mean, for as corny as it might be, they really are doing something that's pretty clever. You go there and you'll be able to hunt or whatever, capture your Pokemon and stuff.
Yeah. Mhm.
They have limited Pokemon, and then they have different things that they do that if you can't make it to Pokemon Fest, the people that are playing will unlock Pokemons
Pokeball?
for
Okay.
different
Pokemon.
Pokemon characters
Pokemon? Yes.
for the rest of
Pokemon? That's weird.
So yeah, they'll unlock certain Pokemon creatures for everyone who plays Pokemon Go.
How?
And the people that made Pokemon Go,
Mhm.
they're the ones that are putting this on. So it's a whole thing that's happening. So if they have a bunch of people hunting Pokemon, they're capturing all these special edition Pokemon.
See, that's cool because we make jokes, but I was addicted to Pokemon Go for a little bit when it first came out because that shit's fun to do on the train.
So you were one of the
cheating,
people.
Basically, I'm
So
cheating.
you were one, I don't know how long it was. It had been out last year, but me and my girl were going for a long walk on the lakeshore.
Oh, you one of those?
Well, now it was a nice summer day. It's like, let's go and get some exercise and go for a walk. And we ended up by the planetarium, and there was hundreds of people playing that stupid game, just walking around with their nose in their phone, and it was just driving up the wall.
It's awesome though. It's the best case of like when people say that VR and AR is can't be done well. Pokemon Go so far is the best AR game that's ever been made.
Killing it.
Yeah, like it got people.
Killing it.
There's like reports of people losing like so much weight because they're like because they out there, and it was already being done. You know, I think we might have talked about it way back when we were in the 30s. I would say show episodes, but there was an old school.
I was like in the 30s, like the year.
No, episodes. Quiet. So there's another game, which was more like a hacking game, and there's nodes, and you can hack other people's nodes, and it was more like a red versus blue type deal. So like that was like one of the first ones, and it's the same company. It's the same company, Niantic. And what they did is they got the Pokemon license, and then they made a new game. In this other game, they have a whole YouTube page. They have actors playing different parts each week where a video will come out, like a reporter and all this stuff. And it was all this conspiracy theory thing. And I played that for a little bit too, walking to work when I was teaching. And you would see people, because I would hear the sound from the phone. I'm like, I know what you're playing. And you walk. I would walk by and see people's screens.
I know what you're doing.
And then across the street, somebody's taking my note right now. I look up, and some dude one time pointed at me like this. I got you. I was like, this is so stupid. It's crazy. Because it's a game, and that was more like if you're into like a techie sci-fi, like I'm a hacker type, you set the node and put all these little barricades around so it takes somebody longer to catch a node. And they used to have thousands of people. Like they made conventions off of those games. Like meetups would have to get permits after a while because people were like, yo, they had to tell the company, yo, you guys are having these meetups and these community meetup things. You need to help organize that because you're getting waves of people to show up at a random park on a Saturday, and the local law enforcement is not ready for like 500 people to be just chilling in the park together. It's interesting. Those AR apps.
Yeah. So Chicago is hosting that.
What they need to do is do a super rare Pokemon that's like hard to beat. So everybody's sitting there trying to fight it and beat it down.
Yeah,
so that,
you know what
if
you know what they would call it?
What?
Push-ups and sit-ups.
Exercise.
Exercise.
Call it exercise.
You make everybody jump. Like your iPhone has to be moving up and down at a certain rate. Everyone jump up and down. Jump now.
And then speaking of Chicago-based goodness, quick little shout out to our buddies over at Chimeras. They had their first art quake
Bam.
today.
Yeah.
And it was
Good old
hosted by Travis Overstreet. And if you guys remember, I think they were on a few weeks ago. They're I think like 101, 102, episode 101, 102. And basically what Chimeras is like an art mentoring program. And they're basically, if you're in school, or even if you're just trying to break into the industry, it's not necessarily them teaching you Photoshop or anything like that. They're actually taking you under their wing and teaching you about the industry and doing all kinds of really cool stuff. So Chimeras, Chimirus. I believe it's chimeras.com.
And if you missed that Twitch stream, that they had tonight, or Quake, you can always go back to their page, and they should have it as a rewatch. So now it's like a video. So go back and check it out. Subscribe to the page, or right now they don't have a subscribe button, but follow the page so you can get the alerts when they're on again. Yeah,
and I actually watched it this afternoon, and Travis was doing some digital paint work, and it was really cool to see. He was really getting after it, and it's really interesting what he's doing. He went and generated a random band name. So have you guys seen any of those
Like
random name generators?
Yeah.
So he went and he created, or he randomized a name, and Rotary Gargle Pirates came out. So it's really cool to see him. He had, reference material, which is important.
Very.
Because artists have a tendency to think that finding reference material and using pictures to draw off of is cheating.
Yeah.
And it's really not.
Tell them shut up. It's working smarter.
Basically, yeah. Basically, shut up. Charlie's a big proponent of my favorite resource material is Pinterest.
Get it in your life.
I don't take advantage of it as much as
you shut your mouth.
I have nothing against it. I'm just saying that I don't use it on a regular basis, and I hear nothing but good things about that, especially for creative work. And
Charlie may kick you off the show.
I'm getting a little upset because I think we talked about this before, Ryan. You're defiantly not going to that website, but it's okay.
Is there a reason we're like actively avoiding the name of it, like Voldemort?
Have we not said it yet?
No one has ever actually said the website we're talking about, and I'm going to continue it.
Carlos said it.
No, he didn't. He didn't actually say it.
He did, because right after he said it, I said, "Get it in your life."
No, go back and listen. It was good. That's why I was laughing. That's why I was laughing, because he didn't say it. And you were just like, "Get it in your life."
Okay, awesome. We'll talk about it at the end of the show.
So yeah, now I'm definitely not gonna say it.
Yeah, we'll just talk about it at the end of the show. Stay tuned.
Yeah, it's called Google. Not really.
Remember when we had like Getty images and all that stuff? It was like way harder to find images. You had to go to these really specific websites, and they were like limited databases, and everything was watermarked.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's weird because like Getty and like Shutterstock, I like those now, but that is because I have a corporate account. One of the other internet,
wow, yeah.
it's nice now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Before you like that watermark's in the worst possible spot, and I can't find another Mystic River.
No, and now
Yes.
even you can go to these different audio sites, and you'll be listening, and then all of a sudden it'd be like
This is a
Audio
demo.
Jungle.
Audio Jungle.
Yeah, Audio Jungle.
Yo, I hear it. I heard it.
You're like, yeah, I got some music. Audio Jungle. I'm like, damn.
You know, I heard it on the other week. A couple weeks ago, we were laughing at work because some dude had it in his
You need to
Oh,
take
man.
advantage of it and make it part of your song.
I was like, not to
Audio
promote
Jungle.
like stealing music. You didn't even like, take a chance of
Have
going.
you guys ever have you guys ever done that? Like when what was that? The Napster, when Napster was around, you'd get a song and then someone would put in their own little sound bite of some sort.
Yeah, the
DJ.
user
And
name
then you
is
would like
Death Dragon 5.
you would listen to it, but then you would get on the radio or whatever and hear the original, and you'd be expecting that one sound to happen, and it never.
Carlos, so happy. He's supposed to say echo. You were listening to the sounds of just.
It's too funny.
Actually, Ryan, this is a question for you. I've always been wondering this. Do they pay the artists to do this, or is this like auto-tuned like voice impersonators when they're like, it's Adele and it'll be like, hello, it's Kiss FM. Like when they put like the name of the station in the song.
In the like on the radio?
Yeah.
I honestly don't know.
It's got to be paid by the artist, right? She just
Usually they do
probably.
drops. Yeah, they do drops.
It's what?
Before. They usually do drops before, like if they have an interview, like kind of
Like
accept that all the
exclusive-
time.
Yeah,
when
like
they-
I say a
when
bunch
they
of
bring
stuff.
them, when they bring them in, when they're in town, and they bring them in for an interview, they usually
That's why everybody
do it.
loves the radio station. It's the best station in the country until they go to the next radio station, and that station is the best radio station in the country. And I think the DJs be cutting it up too. I think they just be like,
Over 92, Hotlanta.
yeah.
And then you hear them in Detroit. 102.3, Detroit's finest.
I think they be taking their voices and just taking run with it. They gave us permission. Now let's cut it up to all the other.
That's what I wondered, if it's like a Siri type of voice where they just get Adele to be like, just say Kiss in like 17 different numbers and we're just gonna put it together ourselves.
I mean, there's definitely like the big companies like a Clear Channel, like
Right.
that will get the artists to do that for all their affiliates across the country.
I feel like they must, because you always
I can
hear
see
that
that
on it.
happening,
They just
yeah.
like work it into the song.
Too funny. So now what that kind of leads us almost perfectly to, well, here, let me say it like this. I'm confused a little bit
Okay.
because on Twitch, so I guess let me start my story by saying this. I wanted to get into streaming more because I guess I feel more obligated to create stuff if I see people are watching me.
Right.
And so
Voyeur.
I've started streaming a lot more, right?
All right.
And on Twitch, on Twitch, there's this channel that Rhyme Sayers is the host of, I guess.
Yeah.
And for those folks that don't know, Ryan and I are working on a documentary together. And one of the team members is a part of Rhyme Sayers. And so me thinking that I'm going to do Rhyme Sayers a solid. I'm going to draw and have their music playing in the background.
Yeah.
Well, the first time I did Twitch, there was some copyright challenges, and I said, no, it says on their channel that I can use this music as long as I'm streaming on Twitch. And then what you do is you can publish over to YouTube after Twitch. Well, yesterday or the day before, I think I started doing streaming to both Twitch and YouTube and even Facebook at the same time, trying to figure some things out. But so I was like, well, you know, the copyright challenge that I did on Twitch worked. They're like, oh, okay, cool. As long as it said that on their page, right? So I started playing rhyme sayers again because I was drawing a picture of one of the guys that came on Midway Radio. And I didn't want that electronic music playing. I wanted hip hop to be playing. So obviously I went to rhyme sayers. And long story short, or long story even longer, YouTube was like, yo, here's a bunch of copyright notices. And so I challenged them. And then just today I got like a handful of emails back saying, nice try, but no, you gotta take that off. So now,
Wow.
yeah,
I would have bet it would have been harder to get that clear with YouTube than Twitch.
yeah.
YouTube's like a different beast now. A lot of content
And
stuff like that. Been spewing about it for the last year. How hard they are now.
Yeah.
A lot of the issues too is because it's a lot of it is automated. It's automated to at least get flagged, and then they don't really have people reviewing it. Like there's definitely some things that I completely understand.
Of course.
Clearly, all of us here understand copyright laws, but something like that is to me that falls completely outside of those laws.
That'd be like you making music, Ryan, and then playing it in the background and YouTube flagging you, and then like, sorry, you can't use it.
Right.
I made it.
That's happened. Right. That's happened. Like we've literally had.
We had that with Risky.
Yeah, they were upset with us because Risky played music, but Risky didn't make that music. Like we had, who was it? Who was it, Ryan?
We had All Natural on Midway Radio. We had both members of the group on the show, and we had played a couple of their songs to the artists, so we could talk to them about how they made it. And got flagged. And we got flagged, which I'm not mad at that initial reach out saying, "Hey, we heard this music in there." But then afterwards saying, yeah, well, we had the artist. And not only was it just the artist, but it was the owners of the label. Like, they're their own artist. Okay, they own their own record label.
That's all I was going to ask. Do they, was it an issue with the label?
No, they own it. So they're like, well, you have to have permission from from the artists and everybody to do that. I'm like, they were on the show.
So needless to say, I went and I found no copyright music, and not that it's bad.
Usually is.
We'll just leave it at that. It's I guess it's good enough. Either that or I have to talk nonstop, which is probably not going to happen.
Mm-mm.
To me, a lot of it too is like if that's drawing your audience, if you're trying to make money, if you're trying to and that's your focus, like if you just just sat there and like, I'm gonna play the new Public Enemy album, and then just kind of just do that, like, okay, I get that, but if you the whole point of your thing is,
I'll play the next Public Enemy song.
It's weird how they do it on Twitch, because I frequent the site a lot. And I'm always impressed at the level of what the streamers are doing right now with the music. Because some people are like, this is good. I think I don't know how they don't get flagged. Or is it because, I don't know. I can probably go to Twitch right now and pull up some people that are playing some really good music. Or there's a trick to it too. There's some music you can use that sounds really good, but it's like a radio station, so it plays different ones. Because people in the Twitch chat, right? People will have requests, and they will request songs,
right, and
then they will play them.
Yeah,
and they don't get flagged. And I don't know if it's because they're doing strictly live streaming, meaning that it's never going to be, what is it? It's never going to be recorded per se and then reshown. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because some people have their Twitch channel set up like that. Like they have no like past videos. It's just that I go live at 6 o'clock from 6 to 12 every night, you know? So maybe it's like that. If it's always live and never
now that you say that,
Yeah.
now that you say that, Instagram is the same way. Instagram won't take you down, but at the same time, they probably would take you down if you posted it to your feed. I want to read this real quick because it's kind of funny. Gabriel says, I had a video of me playing the guitar and singing a song, gave credit and all. The video was taken down entirely. It was Eagles Desperado. There's a joke. I know what song he's talking about. It's a lovely song, but my joke would be it's probably because you're playing Desperado.
Yeah.
But I really do like that song. Yeah, so I wonder if you might be onto something as far as, you know.
I think that's what they do. Because like I've been on a thing where people are like requesting, you know, there's some streamers that only play hip hop. That people are requesting some good stuff.
Yeah.
And it'll be like and there's some like stream chat bot that you can have connected to your chat so that it does it automatically. So if I do ! Request and then put the name in, like the shirt will throw it into the queue, you know?
Yeah.
So that, like the streamers don't even have to mess with the music. They're like, you don't want to hear this song? Why don't you request a new one? I love when I hear him yell at somebody in the chat. You know?
You know what?
Hit exclamation request. Do it yourself.
That might be a solution too. Because if you're streaming but you don't record it to Twitch, but you record your screen.
Yeah, then you put your own music to it later.
You can do that. That makes sense. That would be
do that. Find some good jazz or whatever you want to do. Something that you like. There are some good instrumental stuff. Yeah, you could probably do that. And you got to ask too, like Danny Williams, Tyrus Gaucher, all those guys that be putting music to their stream. Well, putting music to their work. You know, when they do the time lapse. I thought they still put that stuff up. Like I know Danny still posts it. I don't know if he just posted it to his website or YouTube. I don't know if he has a YouTube page, but I know he always does like hip hop with those like time lapses he posts.
Yeah.
You know? So I would do that. Just like screen capture with OBS, you know, turn off the sound input and then
if you're on a Mac, you don't even need all that. You just open up QuickTime.
Okay. Hold on, QuickTime, yeah.
Pro tip on a Mac, open up QuickTime, record that mess.
You know, NVIDIA's stuff been really nice too. They're like stuff that just come default now. If you have NVIDIA, you can just Alt plus and then start streaming. It's weird.
Oh, it's crazy.
Cool.
So yeah, I started doing that stuff, and then I got busted for copyright infringement. So now I gotta figure that out. Which leads us to a really interesting topic that's been happening with Midway Documentary, and it's funny because earlier we were talking about pictures and pictures being copywritten and stuff. Ryan, do you want to share your story?
Well,
it's flattering yet
provocative,
frustrating.
Well, it yeah, that's probably a good way to put it. And we posted some stuff about it, and a lot of people had similar reactions to the way that we did. I guess story for those who don't know is that a few days ago, Rolling Stone magazine published a story titled "Hip Hop Family Tree: Chicago."
Is this article?
And so, of course, intriguing. What is Rolling Stone going to have to say about the family tree of Chicago hip hop? And their subtitle, of course, was like "Comment to Chance the Rapper." So you could already tell.
For a little context, what is the project that we're working on?
We are documenting the entire history of Chicago hip hop.
Really?
Ooh, so this sounds like a really big article. Cool.
Yeah.
Let's hear more.
So, you know, this particular project we've worked on now for 3.5 years. We've conducted over 200 interviews. You know, so obviously I'm curious to see what's this about. So I read the article, and it's 5 paragraphs.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
It's super short.
It's 5 paragraphs, 5 short paragraphs.
Yeah, they summed up
Mind
everybody
you.
in 5?
The first, yeah,
Mind you, it was hip hop family tree. So basically the entire history of Chicago hip hop of Chicago in 5 paragraphs.
Yeah. So basically, they mentioned Common, Do or Die, some of the regular ones that you would notice. There's 2 people that they mentioned, and then of course it ends up with with Chance and with Saba and some of the new kids.
Really neat video and everything. They put it out there.
Yeah. So the first video is talking, or the first paragraph is talking about, Chicago's got rich history before Chance, and then a couple names that they mentioned is Chirac Nation and JP Chill. JP Chill, legendary DJ down at WHVK. Chirac Nation, they really made it seem like is just a group. Like they made it seem like, Chirac Nation was recording back, before Common and stuff like that. Like they didn't get the essence of what Chirac Nation was. Not even the essence. They didn't explain what Chirac Nation is.
They made it seem like Chirac Nation was like NWA.
Yeah. And it was clear. It was clear if you just read the article. To me, and I've got a journalism background, it was a very poorly written article. The writing wasn't great on it. The research definitely was not there. It was a quick Google search for Chicago hip hop. But the kicker is they had a 3.5-minute video accompanying it, and within the first 10 seconds of the thing, kind of look at, I'm like, that kind of looks familiar. And they had used one of our photos from the project in their video.
Oh, no.
So I'm watching the whole thing, and the video is just a summary of exactly what was written. And then at the end, of course, there's credits. There's credits. Thank you for the footage for Kanye and from Sony and from Twista and all this stuff. There's absolutely no mention of Midway. And I can't obviously say what extent they use our website and our project for. But at the very least, they got a photo from it, and it's very clear where that photo comes from. Even if you do a Google search, it comes up as Midway Doc. But yeah, so there's an issue there. I wrote about it on my personal Facebook page, and tweeted at Rolling Stone and the author. And since then, of course, there's no real response. The author gave a blank. There's no malicious intent to leave out anybody or to anything like that. It was a blanket statement because there's a lot of people that were going after him for this isn't accurate. This isn't how could you leave out these people? And I'm like, I get the article. It was talking about Chance and that kind of stuff.
But worded it differently then.
Well, that was my point. If you title something like that, then you have to have the words.
Editor this seems like a really mess up on his superiors.
Right. And it's not.
If it's a small article piece, you can't make that for that.
Exactly, and it wasn't. And it's not like is somebody's blog site. It's not like somebody just wrote it and threw it up there. Clearly, somebody wrote it. Maybe he got assigned to work on that thing. But it was written. Somebody had to at least proof it before it went up. So there's somebody at Rolling Stone looking at it, and then there's somebody who's producing the video as well. There's a few people involved in there, and then because of the little uproar of everything, Uprocks actually wrote a little thing today talking about Rolling Stone article sets off fire with Chicago hip hop artists.
That's awesome.
And then at some point, overnight or early this morning, Rolling Stone went in, and supposedly the author has said that he did not make any of these changes, as he's saying that this came from Rolling Stone, but they edited the article to leave out, and they completely left out all references to Chirac Nation and JP Chill, and they made a few other small edits, and then they changed the title of the piece to be Hip Hop Family Tree: Chance the Rapper's Chicago.
But the video is the same.
But the videos, yeah, they left the video up. The video is the same, still using our photo.
The video department's like, I can't change that quick. Sorry, buddy.
Yeah.
Right. So the frustrating thing is this. Look, your homework assignment was to write a story about Chicago hip hop. It's only obvious that you came to our website because you're using our photo.
Was the photo in the video though?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it was, yeah.
So the videographer used the video. Used
Plus, it was in the story
right.
too.
Well, it wasn't a standalone photo. Our standalone photo in the story. It was in the video.
Oh.
So I can't say, whoever produced the video, did the author create the narrative? Because there's a narrator for the
the videographer still messed up, didn't give you guys credit, but he was like, yo, I didn't give you this picture of this dude. Let me go find one real quick. But still,
right. So I don't know if it's
bad. Yeah.
I mean, either way, it went through multiple hands. So
it's
either the videographer who created it should have known better, or if the author was like, hey, I found these images for my story that you're making a video of. Here you go. There's
somebody messed up real on an amateur level that shouldn't be done at Rolling Stone.
Oh, you know what they did? This is exactly what they did, because I just did it. They probably told them, hey, there's a story about JP Chill. If you do a Google search for JP Chill, the Midway photo is the first one that shows up.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what they did.
Yeah. But it clearly says Midway Doc or Midway Documentary on there, and obviously it links back to the website.
They threw you in the credits, it would have been like, okay, it's all good.
Which then further becomes even more frustrating, because you did a search, you found his picture, you saw where it's coming from. You're doing a story about the history of Chicago hip hop, and there's a small team doing a project about the history of Chicago hip hop. You couldn't email somebody and be like, yo, this is what we're doing. What do you guys think? Like, you guys want to jump in on this? You know what I mean?
But Rolling Stone wouldn't have done that, but they should have just gave him credit.
Oh no, but they're going to steal the picture.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They should just give him credit. They're not going to call you and ask you to.
Why not?
But they legally should.
Well, they legally should call them and ask for permission for the picture, but they don't have
for the
to.
Photo, correct.
I'm saying they don't have to ask for permission.
But what I'm saying
put in
is
a 5-paragraph article, which is clearly.
What I'm saying is, you have a group of people that talk to over 200 of the Chicago hip hop community. Right. Don't you think that Ryan and Risky have a little something to say about this? Not to like take over the article or anything, but just to be like, hey, this is the project that's going on. We want to get a little bit more information in here. What do you guys know that might be able to help us out?
Right. Or to get back to what I've said numerous times now in talking to people about this week. I was just speaking at Columbia College last night, part of Power Style Week in Chicago Hip Hop Heritage Month and stuff. So we talked about it last night. We talked about people online. Charlie, you actually just brought it up, which was just the title of the thing. Like, if that wasn't their motive to put together some sort of history of Chicago hip hop for this article, then don't title your damn story Hip Hop Family Tree. Like, that's just
good Arthur there. Sound like he was supposed to write about Chance Chicago.
Right.
And he went in a different direction. He
just got lazy.
Sidetracked.
It was very lazy. It was very lazy.
And you know what it was? You have Chance the Rapper, you have Saba, you have Vic Mensa, you have all these guys that are making a lot of noise, and all of them have Chicago in common.
So that should have been your
Pun,
focus.
pun not intended.
Wow. Makes all type of common sense there.
Right. So then they're like, oh, okay, all these guys are from Chicago. It's heating up over there. Let's go ahead and use this hot word, Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
Lazy.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, no, that's exactly what it was. And I wasn't, we had, for the most part, we had a lot of we always have amazing support for the project, but we had a lot of people that really came out and was pushing for us, and they'll get the real story of Midway, and man, they shouldn't have done that. There's a couple people who kind of came after us for being like, well, why didn't you salute the story, because they're trying to be positive and they're trying to talk about and Chicago hip hop. I was like, it's not just because somebody can mention Chicago hip hop, that doesn't mean that it's
Right.
done well or correct or anything.
Yeah, they're like, Chicago hip hop deserves 5 paragraphs.
Right. One of our producers, Chad, DJ Risky Business, was said a lot of good things, which is like, we've been busting our ass for over 3 years. I'm not going to sit back and take and let a publication with the background of Rolling Stone. I don't care what you think. What anybody thinks of their credibility now or anything else. We all know that national publications and media centers never quite get it how it should be, or whatever. Right. But we weren't working on this project for that long to have a publication with that history. And with the respect that they have, like it or not, they have that respect to just cherry pick things that we use or that we've created and that we've been working on for their thing with absolutely, with no credit or anything like that. That's just that's wrong.
This just hit me just right now. Do you guys remember when I went to CTN? And I watched a presentation by the guy who made Book of Life, Jorge Gutierrez.
Mm-hmm.
And he was talking about being a Mexican in the animation industry. And why is it that he feels a little uneasy when the powers that be, the Disneys and the DreamWorks and everything, when they write stories about, like Moana was about Far East Islander, and you have black princesses and stuff like that, but it's white dudes writing the stories, right? So the point that Jorge and me, I was just like, I don't know, like I like the stories, but whatever. I don't know. I don't get it. Maybe I'm not that touchy when it comes to that. And he's like, listen, I'm a Mexican trying to tell stories. So you mean to tell me that a white dude telling a Mexican story is going to be better than a Mexican telling a Mexican story? Does that make sense? Mm. So yeah. A Mexican who lives the life of being a Mexican can tell the stories because he's been there, done that, right? Rolling Stone, I don't know where this guy is from, and at the end of the day, I guess it doesn't even really matter, because if he's come to find out he's from Chicago and he just wrote an article that he just needed to hurry and get out, I guess it doesn't change the story. But let's just say he's from New York. Let's just say he's from wherever, Atlanta, wherever he's from. Someone from Chicago writing about the history of Chicago, it just sits a little uneasy.
If that was, even if you're writing a contemporary piece about Chance or about that, and you don't want to get too deep into it, to me, if your whole thing is to write some sort of piece that has some sort of historical significance or talk about anything like that, what kind of research are you going to do for that? I'm going to do a Google search. I'm going to search for Chicago hip hop. I'm going to search for the topic that I'm writing about, and and trust me, Midway is going to come up in your thing. So if you're truly serious about wanting to do something, I do agree with you, Carlos. Like if you're supposed to write on a thing like that, wouldn't part of your research be to reach out to a team? You know, even if it's a
that's
fact
literally
check,
doing what you're looking for.
right? Even if it's just a fact check, and that has nothing to do. You know, I'm not like salty that they didn't say that. You know, there's this project coming out or anything like that. Like it's not about that. But I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
It's crazy is what that is.
Yeah.
And then to be completely self-centered and selfish, like we have over 3 years put into this project, and you wrapped it all up in a really bad 5-paragraph essay.
Well, no, I mean I think
Clearly,
nobody's really going to take this seriously as some sort of like documented history.
Yeah,
I mean, it is what it is. It's literally just like a five paragraph brief article that says almost nothing.
Yeah. Basically, shouldn't have went into the history of hip hop.
Well,
probably his briefing should have been more so on chance.
If
they're connected with rappers, the new rappers. So clearly that's why Rolling Stone went and edited it without him, and he had to come out and say, "I didn't do this," because he probably was like, you know, he didn't. It sounds like a rookie mistake. That's
totally,
what it sounds like to me.
Totally.
Like because you're not really commanding the subject matter that you were probably tasked to do at all. You know, and you did a misleading title, and now Rolling Stone is getting heat for it, and there's a bunch of like, stupid, just idiocy, whatever. What is it? Idiocracy? Whatever we call it. There's like missteps. Like there should be. I can't remember what the word is, but like.
No, that's just it. I don't think anyone knew what you were trying to get to, so we didn't know what to say.
Idiocy or whatever. It's just stupid. Like at that point, like all the checks and balances for like Rolling Stone, you would think everything in any of those videos would be flagged, because I would feel like people would be out there waiting for a company like that to mess up so that they can sue the crap out of them for using stuff that wasn't supposed to be. Wasn't supposed to be there.
Right.
So,
like I said, there's a couple of people that thought that we were kind of like trolling Rolling Stone or the author, or like, trying to do. It's like, no, I tweeted that, hey, you can't sum up Chicago hip hop history in 5 paragraphs. Like that's you can't do that.
No, you
and
have to do that.
And by the way, you used our photo without credit or permission. And I did in the author, one of his tweets was like, it wasn't malicious to leave anybody off and all this other kind of stuff. I actually replied to that. I'm like, I don't think it was malicious. I agree, but you clearly,
But you're a trick ass bitch. No.
But you clearly used it away for at least something into the project that you just did here, and there's no response with that, and I just because
he realized he's messed up. Because I'm thinking, I'd be like, so what are you talking about? Like, my tweet. Like, what is this supposed to be? I don't understand what this is supposed to be, because clearly it can't be the history of Chicago hip hop or anything else. Because unless you're gonna put a big, huge like comment and name all these people that contribute to the culture, and then go on with your little 5-page thing. Like, clearly you're like, if I was an editor, it'd be like Jonah Jameson style with Spider-Man. Like, what are you talking about? I can't understand this. This is like, what does this article mean? Like, what is this? This doesn't mean here. This last paragraph has nothing to do with the top. Why are you going into history if you want to talk about chance? Like,
right.
Like, what are you doing?
And I've said a couple times now that we would have either ignored it or shared it had it been titled differently, had it been presented a little bit differently. If it was just an article about Chance and saying, hey, he's got influence from Common, from some other these people from being in Chicago, I'd have been like, yeah, okay, whatever. It's, it is whatever. It's nothing super important, but I might have retweeted it or shared it or something like that.
Yeah, definitely, because it's that'd be better. Yeah.
Right. If the story, the way that it was presented, I probably would have ignored it had they not used some of our images for their presentation.
Right. That's like them, like, as you're walking away, you're like, okay, that's weird. But as they're walking away, they like stab you in the side.
Yeah.
Like, hey, wait a minute, why'd you do that?
Yeah, we're gonna leave you alone.
Check you. Yeah. I
So,
probably would
yeah.
have kept retweeting Rolling Stone all day and just start plugging the project.
Something was happening because I went to go look at the article, and it wasn't letting me into the chat room or into the message board.
Oh, in the comment section.
Yeah, I'm like,
Did
come
they take it
on,
down?
come. No, it was acting goofy.
Yeah, you just kept tweeting all day. Just stream everybody, you, Risky, everybody. Let's make this like a Chance versus Justice League thing.
They did go in on them though.
Oh,
Like there was a whole bunch of people that went in on them.
I want to. Well, speaking of that, we should talk about that.
But so then what? What's happening with that? Are we going to follow up with them and be like, yo?
I still want to follow up with Rolling Stone. Yeah, I'm actually working on that now with somebody that I know who's good at that kind of stuff. So yeah, we're gonna see. I'm not trying to. Maybe I should be. Maybe I should be pissed off and be, and be like, hey, take that shit down. But
you know what? Make it better. Let's do something together.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Publish my documentary.
I don't even want money.
Right.
Whatever. The picture's fine, whatever. But since we're here, might as well talk about this documentary.
But so let me. I'm sure you've already talked to whoever's handling this for you, but in an effort to expand on this further and kind of devil's advocate, because this type of thing, obviously you can't go up majorly against a juggernaut like Rolling Stone without some backing. But in an effort to play a little bit of devil's advocate, have you thought about, or has it come up with the fact that because they altered the image that, it's because I know that's been like Shepard Fairey went through that with the Obama poster, and this has been a thing where that, depending how much you alter the image, because they didn't take it verbatim, and I think that wasn't mentioned. Has that come up in any of your discussions with anybody?
I mean, just kind of what you said there, like it's kind of that almost gray area with it.
Yeah.
Me coming from from a marketing background and in dealing with that a lot of that kind of stuff, I definitely don't think they manipulated it enough. Like it's obvious where they came from. It was it's a photo that they ran a filter through. So
yeah.
It is very filter-like. That's kind of like what happened to the thing we talked about this week too. Go ahead. I'm
curious because they've got quite a few other artists featured on here with the same treatment, and I'm wondering if those just come up in Google readily, and like if those people were credited. Yeah.
Just take screenshots of the pictures, right? Photoshop them really close to whatever they are, and start doing Google reverse image searches. I bet you uncover a lot of stuff if you want to spend that much time.
Bummer.
So yeah,
if nothing else, it's exciting.
It sure is.
Yeah, you guys not a
like
dope.
now it's crew. You know how cool it is. Like my mom was like, "Why are you always spending time and all that? Find a job, blah blah blah."
Whoa.
And now it's yeah, Ma. So the team just got ripped off by Rolling Stone. And she's like, oh.
Is that what your mom said? Does she have a snappier comeback than that?
Yeah. Sometimes you just got to lay the smack down. Like, look, sit your ass down. No, kidding.
Uh-oh.
Love you, Mom.
Yeah. Be careful there, buddy.
Yeah, she swings.
She pounces. I can't save you.
She swings. So far we've covered Twitch copyright, YouTube copyright, photo copyright, Jack got his illustration stolen, and a company in Germany built their entire branding off of his drawing.
What can we elaborate on that a little bit more?
Well, message. It was somewhat cryptic, but it basically said, you know, like, hey, take a look at this web. You know, it almost seemed like spam at first, but it said, you know, take a look at this website. I have a feeling they're using your work, and I don't know if you've authorized it. So, you know, that sounded pretty not quite so spammy. So I clicked on the link, and sure enough, there's this website for this German company that claims to be a design and marketing company. Awesome. And their logo is one of my characters, and not just their logo, but like if you go on their Facebook page, they have plastered this thing on like massive posters. They have a storefront in Germany where it's like on these giant cutouts in a window. They have it on decals on a van. Like it's like
their van decked out.
It is like all over the place. Like it's not just like on some like shitty like copy, you know, business card. It is out there.
The whole
the storefront in the van picture is awesome.
And so I started digging around, and I was reading about this company and what they do, and I had to laugh to myself that, you know, they claim they're a design company or whatever. And of course my name is mentioned absolutely nowhere on there. They're obviously claiming that they designed this and it's their own work. So before contacting them, I decided to try and find out a little bit more about this you know, guy who ratted him out, and he was being kind of cryptic because the vibe I got at first, like, oh, it was just like some random German citizen who, at first I was like flattering myself, and I'm like, wow, someone knew my work and recognized it now. So what happened was, apparently this guy used to work there, and he didn't fill me in the details, but I'm guessing he got fired, and it was kind of a nasty thing. And
he probably running pirated Photoshop,
right? And so he knew about all this stuff, and he just wants to get back at him. So he's probably going about any avenue that he can. Right. So he sent me their info. So then I contacted.
He's probably the one that found it.
Thank you. He's the one who did it. Jack, he's the designer that got fired.
Yeah. So that's hang on. So here's where the story goes. So I contact the company directly. And I kind of figured they were just going to ignore me, but they actually didn't. I reached out to them, and they got back to me real fast. They were like, oh, hi, you know, trying to play it all cool, like, oh, sorry about that, you know. And so this is what they said. They said, well, one of the guys who used to run the company, he no longer works here, and he's the one who did this. So whether or not that's the same guy, I'll never know. It could totally be still one of the guys at the company, and they're just claiming, you know, that's like an easy way out. And they're like,
the cool thing is that it doesn't matter.
And it doesn't matter. And I'm like, that's cool and all, but there's still the issue at hand. And they're like, you know, we really love your, you know, design. Of course, they didn't mention that they probably spent like $8,000, you know, printing all this stuff and like all this promotional material. And I'm like, all right, well, how about this? Rather than making a big deal about this, you got two options. You can either take it down, cease and desist, just like totally get rid of it and start over, or you pay me what I would have charged you to produce all this material. So I give them a quote, and they turn around and they're like, yeah, we can't afford that. We could afford 100 euros. And let's just say my quote was nowhere close to 100 euros.
Yeah.
That'll make everything beber.
So they're like, oh, we can't afford that. Is there anything else we can do? How about this? They go, how about we list you on our website as one of our contractors, and when we have future work, we'll contact you for work.
Yo.
So you got a job offer.
So you got it. So they offered you experience.
Exposure.
So that's when
and future experience.
They want you to do work for the exposure.
Yeah. So that's when I decided to be like, obviously this is not going anywhere, and you know, I threatened legal action and all this stuff. But of course, as everybody knows, legal action is difficult, not to speak of legal action in a foreign country.
Right.
And I did talk to a few people. You know, we've got a friend of the show that lives over there, and I've talked to a couple other people that know international law, and pretty much every single one of them was like, "This is so not worth your time. Like, it depends how much you care about this one character, but you know, you're easily looking at tens of thousands of dollars to make this, you know, to make this right. And you know, what are you really gaining out of this? So, you know, they pretty much all advised me to let it go. But then I get another email from the original guy, like probably like a month later. And in the email, all it just says is, "You may find this helpful," and it's the admin username and password to all of their websites.
Yo, Jack, I don't think you've ever told me that part. This is great. This sounds out of a movie.
So, all right,
So good.
now that this is out there in public,
So their logo is officially a wiener.
no.
Yeah,
So
we're on a show and we're live, so we can't answer. But I wonder if you ever do that logging in just to take a look?
well, I had to log in and see if it was legit.
Hilarious.
And we'll just leave it at that. I can't say that I did anything, but we'll just leave it at that.
So like, yo, you have like a handler. You know, like in the action movies?
I kind
You
of
have a
did.
dude
My
behind the
informant.
computer.
I had
Like,
an
like-
informant.
Good.
Reference from a Spider-Man. You got a dude in the chair.
Yeah, I
And
did.
he's sending you emails. You may find this helpful.
That's literally, it was so cryptic. You may find this out with just username and password.
This dude is this dude is still your work.
Clearly, he got fired hardcore. That went down.
Yeah,
bad.
this dude is like internationally sending passwords to America.
So good.
So anyway, yeah.
Oh man. There it is.
So yeah, artwork can be stolen.
Oh, very easily. Very easily.
Photos
And
can be
retrieved.
stolen. Oh, for the record, no, let's not say that. Not for the record, for a joke. We did a search for the company that stole Jack's drawing, and it was Rolling Stone. They
So
wanted
Ryan,
it.
I have their username and password if you want.
Sweet. Let's talk
Show-
offline.
Hey guys, real
on
quick.
record.
Gabriel said that twist. I did not expect it.
It just shows up. The article's like 20 pages tomorrow.
And it's Ryan's face, like
With all type of links back
with
to
that
Midway.
shitty ass filter over it, like.
Yeah, with all type of links just back to different points on the Midway side. We're getting all type of hits today. It's amazing.
So good.
I think people like forget about like, you know, when you post stuff online, especially at these big companies. I don't know. Rolling Stone just sounds amazing that this happened and it was Rolling Stone and not some one of the smaller publications.
Right.
But people forget like, oh, my article's going up in the little corner section on the website or whatever that no one's really looking at or whatever, you know. So I'm gonna do a half-assed job and a really weird clickbait type article. I feel like the articles, the
article was garbage.
Yeah, I feel like it was like clickbait, like because usually the articles turn out to be garbage. Like the title catches you and you're like, yeah, this is stupid though. Halfway through, let me click off of this. I just wasted 5 minutes trying to figure out about this, and it's not even what I thought it was, you know.
And the thing is, it's such a wide. Okay, so for the record, you can't really cover much in 5 paragraphs, right?
No.
Just getting started.
And I guess I just don't understand why, except for clickbait. Why would you only write 5 paragraphs about the history of anything? Right. So basically what this dude said was, oh, hey, if you want to chew Hubba Bubba is chewy and tasty for 5 seconds. And then after that, it makes your teeth hurt. That's all he did. Like, he didn't get into it at all.
Yeah, it's like he's just getting into it. All right, next time we'll talk about, you know, like now that I've laid some groundwork, we're all out of time.
Right. And how much time was taken to make that video? Because the video was all in all, the video was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was.
If it wasn't full of stolen goods.
It was. Well, the thing is though, is that like it's, you know, you say stolen goods, but like at the end of it, there was a credit list.
Right.
There was thanks for the visuals.
All
to
the big guys. All the big guys got thanked.
So.
All the bigger bullies that will touch them.
Right. All the guys with legit lawyers. And what's funny is all of this started happening, and Jack shared a story this afternoon that kind of fits perfectly with what we're doing here. Jack, you want to?
Well, this story isn't actually new. It's from 2011 when it first came out, but it's come up again in the news because it's being appealed and it's being taken, I guess you'd say, seriously, though.
It just doesn't feel real.
Crazy. So back in 2011, everybody's favorite animal rights activist charity, if you call them that, PETA, they decided to go after this guy, David Slater, who published a little homemade book of his photographs, in which one of the photos and the photo on the cover was of a wild monkey. He left his camera unattended, and the monkey came and found it and was messing around with it and snapped some photos of himself, effectively selfies, and they're actually quite good. They're actually really great photos.
Yeah.
And you know, so he put this in his book because he's a photographer, and he put these in his book and put this one on the cover. And PETA decided to jump on this and sue him. Basically, they were going after him, trying to get copyright infringement, awarding the copyright to the monkey. And this went through a couple of rounds of court systems, but it ultimately got shut down on the basis that no animal has ever been granted copyright, ownership, and has never been granted ownership of property. Well, it's popped up again just a couple days ago that the Ninth Circuit of Appeals has taken up this case again. And now not only are they suing the same artist, they're also, which this is actually kind of the larger issue, aside from the absurdity of the base case. PETA is going after Blurb, kind of in the way that several folks started suing Napster and let's see, Pinterest, which we're not supposed to say the word, but
damn it,
I had to in this case in order to basically as being a facilitator of stolen copyright material. So they're actually suing Blurb for using the monkey's photograph, which has pretty wide-reaching. I mean, should this go anywhere, that has really wide-reaching. Aside from the fact that it's a monkey, has wide-reaching implications that Blurb or a facility like that can be sued for printing something that someone requested to have printed.
It's weird.
Now it's crazy. I mean, not that that's not already crazy, but what makes this story even crazier than crazy is if you watch the video on that link, the guy talks about they said something like how are they going to grant this monkey award this monkey the copyright? The guy says, well, they gave the monkey a name, and then
Naruto.
With that name,
Naruto. Weird name.
With that name, they awarded the copyright to that named monkey. And he goes, and you know what's crazy? They named the wrong monkey.
He said it wasn't the same monkey, right?
It wasn't the same monkey.
Yeah, I mean, how are they ever going to go find this monkey? I mean,
I just don't understand how.
Even if they could, like, this is also like, I mean, even just like legal logistics. Like, aside from the fact that it's a monkey. Well, no, I mean that's a major part, but like, you can't, like, the burden of proof is like just so non-even existent here. Like, the author literally could say, you know what, guys, just kidding. I took the photo. Like, there's nothing in this photo that you're like, oh, the monkey clearly was holding the
you can
camera.
say, I went back and researched it,
And,
even
even if the monkey did, how are you going to go find the monkey and be like, yo, did you take this photo? Can you prove that it's yours?
Right.
Like,
yeah. What a
And how
serious note.
funny
Why
would
is
it
this a
be?
thing,
How
though?
funny would it be? This monkey is trying to take a selfie, and another monkey photo bombs him,
Weird. Now we're getting weird.
like swinging down from a tree. Like,
so here to answer Charlie's question and get to the meat of it. So the reason, I mean, obviously PETA has a larger agenda, and they're trying to gain rights in general. I mean, this is the same thing that happened with SeaWorld. They're trying to gain general rights for animals in general, but the reason this is even a thing is their argument is that, you know, if a human, a child took a photo of themselves, they can and have been granted copyright to that. So why is it? So they're asking the question of why is it any different for a monkey, and why, you know, why they're trying to make the point of that animals are not here to serve the purpose, you know, to serve the needs of humans, and they have rights to. That's their claim.
But why can't PETA just do something useful? Like why waste your?
Why are you wasting hundreds of thousands of dollars on this?
Right, in general, I like what they stand for. Yeah, stand up for animal rights and everything like that.
Exactly.
But why? Just why? I don't have anything else. Why?
It doesn't make sense.
Well, and they've. I mean, there's been several articles from the owner of the camera. I can't even say the owner of the photograph. The owner of the camera basically saying that these lawsuits have driven him homeless. Like, they have destroyed this guy's life.
Like, he's almost bankrupt. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like they're spending hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars on this, and their claim is you know, what they're trying to achieve here is that by gaining this copyright, that they can garner its licensing funds and help preserve this monkey's habitat, because this is an endangered species and they're often abused and hunted and all that. But that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Take the fucking $100 grand or more that you're spending now and do that. Like, it just is so backwards.
Why are you going against this guy?
And this guy, if he wasn't out there shooting them or anything, he wasn't trapping them. He was photographing them. He was preserving them.
Well,
he was out there for months. Yeah,
and I don't think they even. I mean, this is clearly partially just a publicity stunt and to gain attention and bring attention to their cause.
Yeah.
But I don't think. I mean, their lawyers are obviously smart and they have a lot of money, but I think there's a lot of like crazy like legal implications that this opens up. Like, if this were to even ever be taken, if this were to ever even be taken seriously, I mean, if we're saying that. No, I mean, if we're saying that the monkey has the legal rights to the image, well, so if you're out taking a photo and that monkey jumps on you and rips your face off, can you sue him for assault? Like, you can't give him like positive rights and awards and not be able to not punish him for violence, and like it just is. It's so absurd that it.
Plus, he doesn't understand.
People would be suing those rhinoceros zoos and stuff.
Yeah, it's so weird. Like, it's so weird because then we're like affording them like rights, like they can communicate on a level of like of understanding. What are you gonna do? Give them a bag of money and be like, "Thanks, we did this for you." Right. Like, it's so stupid. I want to like smack somebody in the face right now. Like, I literally think this is like one of those weird like Harvard professor like weird case scenarios that they play in a classroom of like hypothetics that comes to life. It's like, who is really and there's some professor somewhere like, well, let's play devil's advocate. I think the monkey has some rights here. Really? Like,
well, and it's clear they're just using this as that stepping stone to the larger conversation.
The larger thing.
Which is fine, and there is a larger conversation. I get that. But I think this could so easily backfire and turn into something like, because it's like I just said, like if you award him this right, then you also have to put restrictions and other legal actions against him, which is totally against their cause. Like, you can now like sue and take a monkey to court for murder.
Yeah, and then what? Could turn around him if he loses the trial. He couldn't tell us why he really did it. So
yeah, could turn around his right.
Say one again. You cut out, Carlos.
Yeah, you're cutting out real bad.
Uh, uh, um, 1 second.
Yeah, it's the mic. So,
Okay.
yeah, go ahead.
Couldn't this guy then turn around and say, well, that's actually my property. The
Right.
monkey stole my property.
Exactly.
And all of a sudden, you trying to be cute, trying to protect a monkey. The monkey now has to do time because it stole this dude's camera.
He has to do.
No, I mean exactly. Like it's such a slippery slope. Yeah.
Or something weird happens, and we got weird cat people and everything else like all over taking people to court. You know, like over the weirdest thing because their cat has like rights too now. You know, it's just so stupid. It should not. Oh my gosh, I feel stupid talking about it. Like if I want to. Like it should be like left to hypothetics in a classroom for like a weird intellectual thought. Not like practice, like as a lawyer that works for PETA, like you really have to be like, I don't really care, but I can really make this work. Like you got to be a weird type of person that want to stand in front of a judge and with a straight face, you know, present your case.
Right.
It's like
I want to go back to the point that Jack made when he was talking about PETA basically misusing the money that they have. They're paying for lawyers to be able to say, well, we're suing him and the money that we get is going to go to saving the monkeys, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys remember, I think it was right around Christmas time, maybe right after, I don't remember, but exactly, when Cards Against Humanity rented this huge earth mover. It was just a bucket that was digging a hole. And they had a FAQ for this thing. And basically what they were doing is if you give money, however much money people are giving, it keeps this machine digging a hole. So however long, and it said, how long is it going to dig? It's going to dig as long as we have money. And then one of the questions on there was, why aren't you giving this money to charity? And it said, why aren't you giving your money to charity? Why are you giving it to us to dig a hole when you could very easily be giving it to charity?
Right.
And it's that whole thing. Like you're trying to prove a point more than help.
Right. Like so bent on making sure you're right.
Right.
And you know the tragedy of this whole thing from in the article is that if the guy wins, he gets nothing. He just gets
nothing.
All like he's about to be bankrupt or he's close to bankruptcy, and like if he wins, he just gets like, yeah, you're right.
Unless he countersues.
True.
I think
what money though?
I think there's something. I think there's something in place where you can't just be filing frivolous lawsuits. So you might come at me for $1 million on some goofy charges,
right?
But if we prove that you're full of it, I get all my money back. You have to pay for my court costs.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's something like that there. So hopefully someone just says stop it. Because animals do have certain rights. Like you can't be kicking a dog down the street. That's not cool. I mean, I guess you could, but there has to be a line drawn. Kind of what Gabriel is saying in the chat room right now. Isn't it supposed to be that copyright laws work only if the one that holds the rights sues, right? So a monkey's not going to wake up one day and be like, I don't know.
I saw my photo in that book.
He said, I feel a certain kind of way.
I don't know. I saw that movie. Caesar is home. Caesar going to sue today. It's happening.
Sues.
Give me back my selfie.
Oh, it's coming.
And this is, and I can see this just a heyday, because you know how folks are like, well, if you let everyone marry everyone else, what's going to stop people from marrying a pig, right? This is there's some simple-minded folks out there that just don't get it.
You just simple.
And so, like, if you're letting a monkey sue, where is this going to stop?
Like, okay, and tell me this: what happens if they win? Who gets the money?
Well, so that's their claim is that they're not allowed to take any of the money. That's been part of their claim and part of the ruling. And the intent they're claiming is that the money would go directly to the environment in which that monkey lives to help maintain this species in the environment. Huh. Which is like, if that's your goal, just take this money and go fix that environment, work on laws to make it illegal for hunting this and policing the people who do hunt it. Like, why the hell are you worried about a copyright? Like, it's so absurd. It just...
It's ridiculous.
Oh, my God.
Right? You start to get mad. It's so stupid. This is about the worst thing we've ever covered. I just think it's like, man, I thought it was bad when people would like just sue over copyrights because I did this patent before you did it or whatever. At times, where
or because I played your music on YouTube.
Right. I just thought, people chase those patent things just to try to sue later. I thought that was a weird misrepresentation of our laws and the way our stuff works here. But now I see that this is just so blatantly like used to make a mockery. For a legal system was just ridiculous. It should make you angry.
It should. I think. Are we done beating up copyrights and such?
We can let Peter go.
Unless there's a giraffe that held a patent for like throat lozenges.
No, high heels.
Nothing like that. Hyenas.
Hyenas got a patent for
every time you
on their neck.
Every time you eat a burger, you got to pay that cow a nickel.
Yeah, pay that cow's kids.
Could you imagine?
Yeah, put that cow's kids through college now.
I tell you what, I'd pay that extra nickel and go to In-N-Out.
He only gets grass fed down. You don't want that cow eating that processed stuff.
Do we want to talk about Atari is coming out with a console?
Exciting. Yeah, we can always talk about that.
But isn't there like little to no detail on exactly what it's going to be?
Oh, it's legit vaporware at this point in a pretty 3D image, but
it's a pretty 3D image.
Yeah,
taken by a monkey, unnamed monkey.
Yeah, and he didn't even push a button. Sorry, he didn't even push the button yet. We don't even know if it turns on. No, I think it's cool, but like Atari's like coming from the ashes, like like some superhero. Like we've been in hiding for 20 years.
Yeah,
just publishing games. We want to get back into the hardware because we feel there's something missing. I want to hear the manifesto when it comes out. Once they start getting ready to like start talking, it's going to be some grandiose. We've been here before everybody. Well, and now we're here to take things back.
Well, what would you guys like to see with it? Would you like it to be some sort of like retro type console, or do you want to see them try to compete with?
Compete. Mm-hmm.
Really?
I would like them to take the place of Nintendo, because that's what Nintendo should be doing instead of making these gimmicky consoles they do. So if you want to do the casual market, go right ahead, Nintendo. Atari take its place, and now we have our big three all over again, and it's good for the industry in terms of like competition, because now you got three different places. Now Atari is going to start to branch out, and then development houses get you have your first party, your second party, your third party all over again. Those new those old school like third party game developers where they have a chance to go talk to Atari and be first party Atari developers. That's more people. That's bigger studios. That's like more people getting hired. Because now you have another juggernaut back in the business. Especially if this thing has like specs. Like if it's like a budget PC that Atari, if Atari did this thing, because right now Sony and Microsoft are in this new wave of basically their new systems have to be budget like mini me's of what I have behind me, right? You have to, but in a way that's cost effective, right? They've realized that they have to make something good. They have to make something that runs similar to the PC but can be still manufactured. If Atari can figure out how they can make their system just as like cutting edge, by working with different, manufacturers, I don't know, we can figure out who they could work with, get a good graphics card in there and then have some good looking demos, that could be really big because that just branches out. Just imagine like you have a whole other like industry in itself of, like I said, new development houses and new games and stuff like that. E3 has another keynote that they have to make sure they show up, and then all PAX East and all the other new conferences. It can be cool, for the industry, because right now we only have 2.
I'm definitely curious to see what it's going to be about, for sure.
You know what I fear though, and I think I've made a joke about this before. Like when we see these cool things, it's like seeing something cool on Kickstarter, right? Really cool, like too good to be true cool. It's like too good to be true cool. Like
like
this
the
is
coolest
awesome.
cooler.
No, that came out finally, so I'll give it to you. But yeah, like it'd be like that. But like, there's a couple games out there now that have been making a lot of money off of the community, basically showing you like the most epic sci-fi game ever. I'm not gonna say the name, but like it's almost too cool and too good to be true, even though they're working on it, right? Like if this never comes out, and then all of a sudden, like 8 years later, we're like, Atari's like, here it is, and it's a retro machine. like, and the retro craze is past already.
Can we talk about that? Like all these retro games. You know what? Listen, stop it. Stop playing those crappy games.
Whoa! It's the roots, though.
Whatever. Listen.
I disagree. I think that stuff needs to be out there on the shelves everywhere.
You know what? No.
I'm surprised you're saying this right now.
If you get like a Xbox or whatever, you should be getting like free downloads on retro games and play like that. All these designated machines just for these horrible games that we used to play because that's all we had. You know what? Stop it. Stop it.
What's going on, Carlos? Don't you love your retro stuff? Like you don't want to go back
and play retro stuff. I like retro stuff, but I don't need a machine specifically for retro games.
Yo, they selling out too.
Do you understand? Listen to me. See, let me take my glove off because I'm about to preach. Listen to me. For all you knuckleheads that think that retro gaming is cool, you weren't there when you're playing with that stupid Atari stick and the plastic would crack so you couldn't go up anymore.
You weren't there passing out in your basement for an hour from blowing your Nintendo.
That's me. Yeah.
And you get lightheaded. You just gotta pass out for a second.
And when you're playing, so I'm gonna go back to the Atari thing because this is a true story. I would take it apart and like melt a straw and drop it into the plastic to try to put that shit back together.
Yo,
it was stupid. It was stupid. And you know what? All that to play tank. The tank didn't look like a tank. It looked like a green square rolling around all slow. Yeah, I'm gonna throw a square dot at you. That doesn't look like a missile. Stop it. Stop.
But hang on.
You're going in right now.
There must have been something good about that game that made you go through all that effort to play the green square.
Do you know what was good about the Atari 2600?
Mm-hmm.
Xbox 360. Moving on. Moving on. All you retro people, it's like, hey, I'm going to visit Chicago, but I'd rather visit Rockford. Like, get out of here. Get out of here. Stop it. Stop.
Okay.
I'm gonna play. Do you remember the little cowboy one? You put it in there, and the cowboys look like just.
Remember what the horses look like? Remember what the horses?
The cowboys looked exactly like the damn cactus. Get out of here. Get out of here with that.
Ryan,
Dude,
you like retro games though, right?
I'm gonna shoot. You know what? The cowboys' bullets looked exactly like the tank's missiles. Okay, so stop it. Ooh, you know the fan, and then when you put it on fancy mode, the bullets bounced off the wall. And then if you killed the tank down in the bottom corner, you just keep shooting, bouncing the bullets off the wall, and then your buddy just kept spinning and spinning and spinning. Tell me,
stop hating. You would legit go back and play some Contra.
Yeah,
I absolutely.
Yeah.
You would legit be like, yo, Ryan, let's go ahead and throw that code in. It's been years.
I've got plenty of new video games for the new consoles, and they look beautiful and they're dope, and you can get into them. But sometimes I ain't got time to commit to go and play some of these long ass games. I'd like to come home sometimes. Maybe I'll throw on a Mario or I'll throw on Contra.
You know what?
Play it for a half hour.
I got 2 words. I got 2 words that'll fix that right away. Candy Crush. Moving on.
Oh no, you're not even do that. No. You're not even gonna bring that back because that's borderline addiction, and I'm hoping it's not sucking anything from your wallet either.
No, hell no.
Because I'll give it to you for being able to play that game that much without ever buying anything.
No, I don't. Because I think the thing that makes me even more excited about Candy Crush is playing Candy Crush and not paying for it. Like the challenge of the game is there, but the challenge of being a cheapskate is so much more rewarding.
Do you hear that, Sketch Donation? See, he's a retro gamer at heart because anyone who would sit there and play Candy Crush to the point just to spite Candy Crush, even though it's not a real person. Because maybe we need to talk to PETA about this.
Delicious. Does Candy have like a PETA version?
Yo, they might represent them because they got feelings too. You should pay and support PETA or Candy Crushing their kids.
Look, I'm on level. Ooh, you guys are gonna be like, whoa, he's my hero.
You see how he did that, Jack? He brought it back to this.
He sure did.
Pretty good.
We gotta get you. Hang on, we gotta get you before you say the level.
Candy Crush 2017. What did we call it before? Candy Watch. Candy Watch 2017.
You're going full retro right now.
Yeah. I think retro games are or
you guys want to guess?
What is it?
It's like 30,000 or something.
There's no level cap, right? Probably.
No, there's no level cap. I'm on level 2089.
See, and that's still you're a retro gamer because you would sit there in front of Contra, Ragar, or any of those old games, and you wouldn't play the game because you enjoy it.
Son.
Or
Tetris.
Tetris too. Right? You wouldn't play any of those old games because they looked amazing, or you were into the story. Maybe Zelda. You're like, this is about I can't being a man right now.
I can't really do Zelda though.
This is about winning.
I'm gonna tell you to talk like after about 3. Can we talk? I want to slap people.
Well, even the other ones,
I always go for the slap.
Beating it, like Ninja Gaiden, like that. That probably is like if people are trying to figure out how to deal with anger management. If you didn't have Ninja Gaiden when growing up, this is why you're angry. I'm just saying because you didn't have any outlet. Like you ever try being mad at something and it doesn't matter that you're mad at it, like. There's
every
no
week,
feeling,
Charlie. Every week.
Yo, just think about it. Shut up. Just think about it. I remember physically being mad at the game. Couldn't. Maybe this is why we got monkeys being represented by people and stuff. Anyway, that's why you played the games. There's somewhere along the line they made video games fun and enjoyable to play. Because I look back to Mario and all that. Like, case in point, I take my wife for instance. Like, she bought a Nintendo Wii. I was against it. But I was like, if you're
Now
gonna go
you're
buy it, then you
talking
gotta go
now.
stand in wall. You gotta go stand in line. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna go buy it. But she wanted it for all the retro stuff. And then sure enough, years ago when she was playing it, what did I hear on like a Sunday afternoon? Sunny outside, it's quiet in our old condo. I hear my wife in the other room yelling at the at the TV because she can't pass a certain part of like old school Mario. That's what it did. It was anger management training. It's like, this is why we don't play retro games. This is why they have speed runs on Twitch, because guys find the whole cheats and like glitches so they can beat the game in like 2 hours, 4 hours. Have you watched those? That would drive you crazy too.
Nope.
It's crazy.
Nope.
He said, "Nope, I don't watch retro."
Right.
I like how Carlos is a purist. Like, he's a AAA purist.
If I'm gonna pay that much money, dude, I want the whole experience. I don't really want to cheat.
Yeah. Side note, though, the SNES, the mini versions. There's been many versions where they've come out with new versions of the Nintendo, or like smaller versions, and they've been selling out, and people are trying to get them. You can. Basically, how you can it's basically like a little hard drive. You can load all the games now on this and play them. And they've been trying.
Gabriel said Dark Souls. Dark Souls is his favorite franchise.
I say though, regardless of thoughts of retro gaming, like why would Nintendo not put those out for regular sale? Like, why are they gone already? Clearly, there was the demand for them. Why wouldn't you do that? And then why would you allow for expansion?
Yeah.
To add additional games later on and build up that whole market. Like, I don't understand.
Nintendo don't care about the.
Nintendo
don't care about the
does
consumers.
what Nintendo wants.
They just want the casual. They realize when they can get old people to play a Wii in a retirement home, they had a niche. We got to make the most gimmicky system ever. Thus, you have the Switch. Everybody's like, you got to get it. No, I'm not getting the Switch. I'm not doing it. Screen looked kind of cool, but it just reminded me of like a fancy Game Gear. Remember the Game Gear? That was cool too back in the day with that bright ass screen. You ever had a buddy on a bus?
Game Gear.
Say you're going to like Cedar Point or some kind of like Great America. You had that one dude whose mommy liked him more than everybody else because he pulled out that big Game Gear. And it's just bright. Everybody else is playing on the black and white Game Boys. Or they're looking over people's shoulders. This dude's full color. He's like, your parents.
He's looking at you like, yeah, your mom don't want you.
Yeah, and he playing like Sonic, while you're playing Tetris. Yeah, I don't know. That's what I think of when I see that thing.
Yeah, I don't know.
Cool. Well, let's hope it's not vaporware, right? Let's hope it's.
I don't know if I care.
Let's hope Atari does it.
I don't know if I care.
You care if it's nice and got some good specs. You gonna buy buy that.
Dude, I stay busy so long. Like this weekend I was down in LA and I was hanging out with my brother-in-law. He has a PlayStation 4. We started playing the new Call of Duty, or the newer one. I don't know which one it is, but
call it copy. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, basically. So I'm running around and shooting and stuff, and like I woke up a few hours later, like, oh, I've been killing people for 2 hours. Like I can't do that. Like I don't have that much time left on Earth. Like I got way too much to do. My to-do list is too ridiculous. So maybe eventually, but I don't know. Right now I got too many things going on. Not for Candy Crush though. Like I am a social gamer when do
you play that thing now? Because like, was that your commute game?
Yeah, like you stand in line, I'm good.
I'm good for a good 5 minutes.
I'm good. Boop, boop, boop. Delicious. That creepy ass voice.
What is it? King, right? King.
Yeah, we talked about them trying to speak. Yeah, they're trying to copyright. They can't. They they copywrote whatever Saga, so you wouldn't be able to use Saga in a game because they were trying to copyright the name Candy for a game too. Get out of here, dude.
Really?
How much money do you have? They're making money hand over fist, though. No joke. Hang on. Vicious dogs out there, but I got to be careful because they might sue me.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Pete
you
on
do.
speed dial.
All right. So I think it's time for.
You're the inspiration. You bring feeling to my life. You're the inspiration.
Artist Inspiration. And this week, I'm going to be showing you guys a gentleman, I'm assuming, by the name of Alex Palazzi. Palazzi.
Corella. Palazzi Corella.
Nice.
You never had a my gelato. So this guy's work is just
Talk about retro.
unique, right? Bread.
That's supposed to be Homer. Oh, okay. It's a donut. Nice.
It's a Homer
It's kinda
donut.
weird.
The struggle is real. It's effing beautiful.
This is weird.
Yo, Carlos, you put us in a weird space. It's art. Let's
That's
go.
my job. That's my job. So at first I was seeing these things and I was like, maybe it's like Cinema 4D.
Oh.
You know how you can do all kinds of weird, goofy things in Cinema 4D.
Yeah, it could be like Octane or something.
Is this real?
Like every day.
And then I go here. Oh, by the way, this is the one that actually got my attention.
That's SpongeBob?
Cool little SpongeBob, just like dry eyeballs. Gotta be careful. Don't
Oh,
want
wait a
to
minute.
be sued by sea animals.
Is this a model? Is this a sculpture?
Yeah. So this is the one that caught my attention. And then I saw like all those goofy pink things here, right? And then I saw this guy and I was like, is this like, I was trying to figure out what 3D program it is. And then you come down here and you see this guy.
You're like, oh,
And you're like, wait a minute.
oh,
This
he's-
guy made that out of Sculpty or something. And then wait a minute, he took a bunch of these little candles
Real wax.
and melted it
wax.
and then took that and poured it over his sculpt. Let it cool, and he got all these little goofy men.
Oh.
He apparently
That was a really good
like
picture.
chopped up some coke just to prove a point.
Like he's balling.
And he put all these little guys right there. Boom.
Yo, did it say what camera he was using? He got a badass camera then.
Canon 450.
Did a monkey take that photo?
Yes.
Did he press the button?
Yep.
What if one of his sculptures like fell down on the camera and took? The
I
photo
know, right?
with
That was
us?
my other question.
Right.
If that guy leaves his
A wax bear gets the copyright. So yeah, look at this.
Ew,
This is
ew.
just
that's
gross.
looking like Donald Trump. That is just gross.
That's funny, Jack.
So yeah, this
That's
guy
a real
is
good painting though. If those are made from clay.
yeah. Yeah, he's
Real
he's what is this? Graphic design. Yeah. Yeah, it's just really cool stuff. And it's just really neat. Here we go. Retro gaming. Here we go. Retro.
Hey, there's your tank.
There's some slime. Yeah.
there's
See,
your
at
tank.
least that looks like a tank. See, this is what tank used to look like right there. Little moving square dots.
The gray pixels that we saw for half a second.
Yeah. So yeah, this guy is he's unique. His stuff is really unique. It's really cool to see people still getting their hands dirty.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Alex Palazzi. If you go to Alex Palazzi Corella
Mm.
on Instagram, instagram.com/Alex
Instagram.
PALAZZICORELLA. Alex Palazzi Corella. You never had a my gelato.
He's so.
There's a story behind that.
Where's that from?
Oh, I went into this gelato shop, and there used to be one. There used to be one by my work in Venice, and a whole bunch of people were like, "Let's go get gelato," and I was like, "This is when I first moved to LA." I was like, "What's the big deal about gelato?" We go into this place, and it's like the whole row of gelato. He's got it all, and this little stereotype like Sicilian man comes creeping out of the background, and he's like hanging over the glass, like, "What do y'all have?" And he's serving everybody else, and he gets to me, and I'm like, "No, it's okay, I'm gonna pass." And he just like stops dead, and he just looks at me, and I was like, I just don't know if I really like gelato, if I I don't know about gelato. And he just goes, "You never had my gelato," and he just put it in a cup and gave it to me. I didn't even pay. It was good. I went back.
Was it good?
I went back. It was good.
I never had mine.
He made it
I have
all.
so many goofy stories like
He made
that.
it all
and
from scratch.
Mm.
so good.
Am I up next or Charles?
You go,
Charles
please. You go, please.
Okay, you got to find someone.
Joaquin.
All
No,
right.
I have someone. I have
This
to
guy
pick.
is. I'm gonna just kind of keep it simple. Just good old fashioned talent. Wiley Beckert. It's just illustration. Really good anatomy and form. Hang on. Here we go. Next image. He's got good sense of color too. I really like that. It kind of reminds me of like old classic masters paintings. These kind of posed out people, and they're always doing something crazy with their hands, and like, they're like stacked on top of each other, kind of like a movie poster. I've always liked that look. But he's got, flawless anatomy skills. It's just, I'm always impressed by that. And then he's got just really good coloring and painting skills. Then, to make it cooler, he's got a YouTube page where you can watch him do it, and he's got speed paints, he's got regular paints, so you can get a little sense of how to do it like he does. And he's mostly traditional, so he's doing this in pencil and then some colored pencil, mixed media. He got, I think, watercolor and gouache, I think. It's just good fun stuff to watch. Just basic mad skills.
Mad skills. Oh yeah.
Check him out. Wiley Beckert. WYLIE Beckert. BECKERT. He's got half a dozen sites. He comes up on YouTube and website and Instagram and all that stuff. It's good stuff.
Drops the brush after every drawing.
Yeah.
It's like easy.
Charles?
Yes. All right. So this week, my artist is named Baldi Coney. Coney? Coney. Konijn. The J throws me because I'm American. Anyway.
Do you think he has hair?
Maybe.
Because he's baldy?
I don't know, though. He's from the Netherlands. That's a beautiful area of the world. So I feel like it's like fountains of youth there. I don't know. so I went to this week too.
Of lava.
Yeah, he just sticks his head in the spring and hair grows. I went. Stop talking to me, Carlos. So I can do this. I went to this guy because I had this guy. This is currently one of my backgrounds on my computer, I think at work. And it's just cool. He's a concept artist, freelance concept artist, as you can see here. But I like his work. I like his style. So I just wanted to share some of his stuff with you. It's very cool, illustrative, and I think a lot of images tell a story. But I've always been gravitated to artists that use heavy color like this. There was a comic book color shop called Liquid back in the 90s. They used to have like these bright colors. They used to color a lot of the Joe Mad covers and the magazine covers for like Electronic Game Monthly and all these other ones.
Oh, did I tell you that
You tell me what about Joe Mad?
Joe Mad is coming on the show?
What?
Joe
Are you
Mad is
serious?
coming on the show?
When?
Eventually.
Oh, dude. You know what? There's a special place in hell for you.
Eventually. I don't know if he's heard about us yet, but eventually we're going to get him on. Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. Let me get through this. Not get started. So like there's a couple sections on here where he shows his process, and this one's the one. Can you guys see this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I love when artists do this, where they just
yeah.
like make a GIF out of their basically Photoshop layers. Now, one of the things when I was coloring too that I failed to do, and I started watching Mike Henry do this too, even in college, was that blue layer. Do you guys do that, Jack, Carlos? You guys do that when you filling it in? Some people do different colors, I see, but it's like a straight solid color layer that they do after your inks.
I almost never work in color.
Oh, yeah, you don't work in color. I thought maybe you might know from work or whatever, like the significance. I guess it's just easy for shading or whatever.
You know what it is? It depends on who you talk to, but it helps you find that the even color between your
color
blacks,
palette.
your blacks, grays, and whites.
I've heard a couple of explanations, and different people do it for different reasons. And I think some of it, to be honest, is like just habit legacy behavior. Like it was an easy way to create selections before you had easy access to layers and masks and stuff. So you just kind of block it out, and then you can easily select. But yeah, I mean, that's also, speaking of like old masters, you could see that stuff in old paintings and stuff. You put down a base layer of kind of your mid-ground.
What is that on the right side? Oh, okay.
What's up?
On the right side, there was some naked dude doing jumping jacks.
Oh, it's like the reference thing they do. It's like, here, I do this. There you go. They do reference for different things you can buy.
It's cool stuff.
Yeah, it's very cool stuff.
I like it.
Yeah,
Baldy.
there you go. A lot of medieval stuff, but like he has some. Like I said, I think I've said this before. I always like when I see this type of stuff here, the thumbnail stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's always kind of cool too. See that? I gotta integrate it. Yeah, you know what? Just get to it.
You're the integration.
Cool, guys. That's funny though. Next, Ryan, you got anybody this week?
Ryan, do you have anyone?
I don't necessarily have a specific. Let me take it.
Got a frog in your throat.
Go ahead.
Be careful, the frog will sue you.
I don't have necessarily one. I mean,
Sue you.
for me now, being a filmmaker, looking at those types of projects, and I try to watch films, particularly documentaries, whenever I get a chance. And one that I watched just within the last week. I don't know. Are you guys familiar with Five Came Back?
Mm-mm.
Mm-mm.
It's on Netflix, and it's the story about some acclaimed Hollywood directors back in the 40s who went to World War II to film the war. The whole thing's narrated by by Meryl Streep, and it's Steven Spielberg, Guillermo del Toro, Lawrence Kasdan, and a couple other filmmakers talking about kind of like their influence. Francis Ford Coppola talking about him. And the let's see, who was so the directors that went over there were John Ford, William Wyler, John Huston, Frank Capra, and George Stevens. Some like John Ford directed Stagecoach, William Wyler directed Ben-Hur, John Huston directed The Maltese Falcon, Frank Capra was Mr. Smith Goes to Washington. So like big directors at the time, just of how they went kind of sacrifice their talents to go over and show the war and helped with propaganda films and all that kind of stuff. But it's on Netflix right now. It's 3 episodes. So it's a 3-part documentary, but I highly recommend it. It's called Five Came Back.
That's interesting.
What's
Check it
that?
out.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, look that up. I like those type of things. I'll watch that.
Awesome. Groovy. Are we going to put the wraps on this one?
Yeah.
Hope
Quick
so.
little shout out to Gabriel Salazar. We're going to have him on just to pronounce his last name. The Urquivi. Little shout out to him. Thank
Well,
you.
I'm glad you tried to pronounce that because.
Gabriel Salazar. The Urquivi. Urquivi, that you never had a my gelato. That is a staple in my language. He goes, yeah, you did it. Yeah, son. Hey, Ryan.
Yeah.
If people are looking for you and all of your wonderful projects, where can they find you?
They can find me on Twitter and Instagram, 278 Media. The number is 278 and Media, specifically Midway. If you're looking for any information on that, you can go to midwaydocumentary.com.
You can also go to rollingstone.com.
that was so wonderful.
You can see a little bit of our work on there as well.
Hey, Charlie, if people are looking for you online, where can they find you?
If you want to find me online, you can find me on my artist Facebook page, which is facebook.com/CharlieBW3. You can find me on Instagram, CharlieBW3, Twitter, CBW3. My website is cargocollective.com/CharlieBWilliams. And you can find me on Pinterest at CharlieBW3. And I also want to get a really quick shout out to my good buddy Matt Burton, who passed away this week. He was a motion graphics artist over at Next Now, and we miss him dearly, but he was really cool. He was survived by his wife and 2 younger daughters, daughter and son. So
that's
see you
tough.
soon, Matt. All right, man.
Yeah, you guys, if you're listening, don't be sad and take care of yourself. Hey, Jack, if people are looking for you online, where can they find you?
I am at sketchbookjack.com, and the handle and hashtag sketchbookjack, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and Pinterest.
Excellent. Thank you all for coming out tonight. I'm Carlos Gomez. You can find me at, I was going to say carlosrgomez.com, but you can also just go super easy and just do a search for Coconut Justice. I've been redoing my website, and I have a bunch of artwork up there now. And so if you guys want to go check that out, go to coconutjustice.com or carlosrgomez.com. It's the same thing. Take a look and let me know what you think. And then again, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, Behance, and Twitch. Follow me on Twitch, Coconut Justice. I'm trying to do a lot more streaming and stuff. And there's other things that I'm gonna investigate too. But for now, this is Sketch Zone. You can find us at sketch.zone. Yeah, and just look for Sketch Zone or Sketch Zone Podcast. If you're watching us on YouTube, make sure that you subscribe so you will be alerted when we come on, and then we can have fun. Like Gabriel's been doing this for a little while, and we get a handful of other folks. Yeah, so there. We're also all over the place, like Stitcher, SoundCloud, Google Play Music, and iTunes. So find us everywhere. That's it. Please, again, take care of yourselves. We want you around. We need to, us the creatives, we need to get out there and create. And taking care of ourselves is Very important. So with that being said, let's wrap it up. Everyone, have a good week.
See you guys.
Right.
Cool. Thanks, guys.
See ya.